Hello, everybody, and hope everyone is. I'm not going to go over any social media strategies or since this is information that you either already know, you can find online. But I'm going to focus on specifically how we as a global secretariat can advance collaboration and share resources and know-how to amplify our voices. So as a platform, we advocate on a global level, but the aim is to work for transformation at the national and local level. And as a global civil society platform, it's easy to lose sight of the relevance of our advocacy in a local context, since we try to frame issues in the most inclusive way at a global level. So when we think about the relevance of our advocacy issue in people's day-to-day lives, communities across the world have all felt the devastating effects of COVID, especially marginalized groups, as well as almost every country having experienced a shrinking of civic space. Climate change is also something that everyone is experiencing right now, and the sort of environmental degradation that comes along with it. And these are all very relevant and timely issues that need to be transmitted to the public in an accessible way. And they're also issues that can be projected with greater strength by unifying organizations across the globe through platforms like CPDE. So we have prepared a CPDE communications kit, and we will make these slides available afterwards. But in this folder, you can find our communications materials. Some of the most notable that we have come out with in the past years or so, or even before, are the Shrinking Civic Space social media cards, which are informative cards that summarize the idea of shrinking civic space and how we advocate for it with the Belgrade call to action and so on. And there, as well as the simple principle, for sure. These are just a couple of examples of things that we've made recently that are very shareable as well, and that we have tried to make in the most accessible way possible to reach a wider public. So how can we work together? Firstly, one of the ways that we have tried to facilitate this collaboration process is through the event information sheet. So, this is a sheet that we provide the Global Secretariat that you can fill out to produce a piece on your organization's activity or updates for sharing with the rest of the platform. And our members all, which are spread over across 100 countries. So this is a good way to amplify your events if you want, and we're happy to support you with that. There's also sharing, we can share our media directory with you, and this is done by region, by theme, or by different topics, and you can always ask us for that as well. And also we offer support and resources for media relations and social media. So as we have already shown you some of our resources, some of the sort of communications material from before, toolkits and branding elements, as Boti just went over. Collaborations, we also are very open about collaborations for videos or podcasts or articles. That's to work together on that in the future. So pitching platform activities to local national news. Now this is more in the media relations part of the presentation. We can also work together to pitch local or national news in your countries or local contexts. So when we send around emails on certain events or campaigns or research study results to take place, encourage you to think of how this can be relevant to your organization's context. And if it is relevant, you can access a CPD press kit that we will make available for you. So for example, press releases, background material about projects, research paper teasers, everything. And then you can reach out to different local media contexts that you think would be interested in writing a story about it, or doing some kind of piece of news on it. And finally, press release structures are outlined in the resources that we made available, but with press releases as well, and find how relevant to your local or national context. And next slide. So yeah, for when we do make news stories, we want to make sure that there's a few things to keep in mind, obviously. And the first one is proximity. So how relevant the story is to people's lives, and how related it is to the local context. Secondly, human interest. So individual stories are more powerful than numbers, and it's natural for us to want to put a face to social issues. Thirdly, having an evidence-based results, so data as evidence is necessary to back up our calls to actions and principles and campaigns. And finally, a strong call to action is very important. This also answers a question that many people have when they read about social issues, which is what can we do to help, or how can we get involved? Fanny will delve into this more in her presentation, which is coming up after. We'll elaborate how stories can be structured and generate a wider audience through search engine optimization. So here is a list of a few media sites that we think are very sort of in line with our principles and our advocacy issues. You might have already heard of a few of these before. Cover different social and environmental justice issues. You can contact us for a more extensive list and to collaborate on news pages. Here is just a little exercise that we won't have time to do now, but I think it's a very good way of sort of organizing the key advocacy issues and having a clear idea of how the plan advocacy objectives and different methods of engagement to have. This is from the Reality of Aid Observatorio, so it's quite useful for sort of organizing thoughts on advocacy. Here are some learning resources that we can also make available to you. We'll share all these slides with you afterwards anyway, but yes, these are some different from Civicus, from the SDN, from Aid Observatory training, that all go over different media relations and social media strategies. And if we really hope that in the future we can work together with media, as well as through our different social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Thank you very much.